After my divorce from my husband, I moved back to my hometown to raise my child. Out of the blue, I received a message from Christine after 3 years of no contact. She said she came back to town and had given birth. Guess what? I had a baby. I'm expecting a gift from you. Are you still a single mom, Renee? That's too bad. I'm living a happy life with Michael, just so you know. It seems like Christine just wanted to boast about her happy life to me. The thing is, this wasn't the first time Christine took someone precious away from me. Perhaps she sees me as an easy target. However, now I have someone strong by my side. The moment Christine would face her reckoning was getting closer by the second. People always say your name doesn't match you. My name is Renee. Because of my plain appearance and reserved personality, I've always been teased that my name is too fancy for me. On the other hand, Christine was the friend everyone boasted about. She was beautiful, adept at everything, and had many acquaintances. Even though we were total opposites, she was friendly to me. We first met in the drama club during high school. While Christine was always the lead type, I was more suited for behind-the-scenes work and was responsible for the sound system. However, a turning point came for me. I fell in love with a senior member of the drama club. Time passed, and the senior didn't seem to notice my feelings. I was getting anxious. As his graduation was approaching, and soon there'd be no more connection between us. So, I mustered up the courage to write him a letter. I've always liked you. Please, will you go out with me? That's all I could muster in this brief note. I made sure to sign it with Renee at the bottom. Christine knew I wrote the letter and offered to give it to the senior for me. But in reality, she crossed out my name and replaced it with hers before giving it to him. Apparently, she even told him I wrote the letter as a joke. She's just toying with your feelings. Don't you think that's cruel of Renee, is what she reportedly told him. That was a blatant lie. She had fabricated this story just to ruin my one-sided love. The senior, not knowing the truth, confronted me, saying only I didn't expect this from you, and just like that, my romantic hopes were crushed. Christine and the senior dated for a brief period, but soon she dumped him without a second thought. That's when I realized that Christine had been using me as her sidekick. After high school, I went to a vocational school in New York. Christine, it seemed, went to a renowned community college nearby. After my graduation, I got a job in the music industry. There, I met Michael, who would become my husband. He was a rising star musician, even making appearances on TV from time to time. People thought we were an odd match, but Michael said he was drawn to my simple and genuine nature. We decided to have a wedding. Michael, being the flamboyant type, rented out a luxury hotel in the city, and we had a grand celebration with many guests. Though I'm not one for big events, I braced myself, thinking it's a once-in-a-lifetime occasion. Choosing the guest list for the wedding was tough. I didn't really want to invite Christine after what happened in high school. But since we had many mutual friends, it seemed odd to invite all of them and exclude Christine, so I reluctantly sent her an invite. On the wedding day, Christine made an entrance in a dress so red it could have outshone the bride. She seemed smitten by Michael's musical performance during the entertainment section, making a point to approach him and even cozying up to Michael's friends, apparently trying to get his contact details. Back then, I simply thought it was nice for Michael to gain another fan, but I was wrong. Soon after we started our married life, Michael began acting differently than when we dated. He constantly pushed his extravagant tastes onto me. It was evident when we went shopping downtown. Michael stopped at a high-end brand store. "Hey, try this on." "What?" "I think even a foreign supermodel would have trouble pulling this off." I reluctantly tried it on, but as far as I could tell from the dressing room mirror, it didn't suit me at all. "Just as I thought, it doesn't fit someone plain like you." I felt as if I was being compared to someone else, and it didn't feel good. Eventually, I became pregnant. I hoped that having a baby would make Michael more supportive, but he showed no such inclination. He seemed busier than ever, not just with work but also filling his schedule with private engagements and outings. In the end, he never once accompanied me to the hospital, even up to the day of delivery. The time came, and I gave birth safely. Our daughter was beautiful, but after childbirth, I was physically and mentally exhausted. Suddenly, there was a loud knock on the hospital room door. I thought it was Michael, but when I let them in, he had brought several of his friends. Michael barely paid any attention to our daughter and seemed more interested in taking photos, uploading them to his social media right there and then. When I was discharged and returned home, I found the house in utter chaos. To make matters worse, the crib that I had asked Michael to order was nowhere to be found. I haven't gotten around to it. Ordering stuff is such a hassle. Then where is our baby gonna sleep? Isn't figuring that out your job as the mom? The room was so messy it seemed impossible to even place a crib. In a rush, I tidied up and prepared my own futon to let our daughter, Luna, rest. Even after we began our life as a family of 3, Michael's outings didn't lessen. While his job had no fixed hours and he often returned home late, his overnight stays increased to a concerning extent. Then, I heard words I couldn't believe. "I want us to split." "What about Luna?" "I never wanted a child in the first place." "If that's the case, you shouldn't have. You're the one who got pregnant. It's your fault for complicating things." His words were incredibly hurtful. Initially, I was against the idea of divorce, but considering Michael's lack of involvement in household duties and the fact that Luna wasn't attached to him, I decided to return to my parents' home in Nebraska and raise Luna there. Life in the peaceful town was better than I expected. My parents thoroughly enjoyed living with their granddaughter, and for the first time, I truly felt the joy of having given birth. It wasn't until some time after moving back to Nebraska that I learned the real reason for the divorce. I stumbled upon an article Michael posted on social media. With the caption "We're married," there was a photo of Michael and Christine. I felt dizzy. Once again, Christine had taken away someone precious to me. To add insult to injury, Christine was wearing the expensive brand dress that I couldn't pull off. As I sat there in shock, my phone rang. It was Christine. "Hey, long time no see. Saw my post? Heard you moved back to Nebraska. What a shame. Michael and I are enjoying city life. What's the deal with you marrying Michael? Ever since your wedding, we just clicked. Michael's been thinking of me all this time, especially after you got pregnant. So, he was cheating on me? Don't be so stiff. It's your fault for not keeping a tighter hold on your man." True, I had been preoccupied with my pregnancy. But now, I have a beautiful daughter, and I've recovered my health living with my parents. None of your business. But now, I have my irreplaceable and lovely daughter, and I'm gonna be happy. Sounds like a loser's excuse. It's kinda sad. I was so angry I hung up. 3 years passed. A turning point came for me. Luna was now at an age where she could sit quietly, so I took her to see a children's play. After the performance, to my surprise, the director who came out to greet the audience was the same senior from high school. The one Christine had taken from me. After the event concluded, I mustered up the courage to approach him. "Excuse me, you're Matthew from high school, right? And you are?" "I'm Renee. We were in the drama club together. Actually, there was a misunderstanding back then that I'd like to clear up. Would you like to join me for coffee later to discuss it?" Matthew looked puzzled but eventually agreed. At the coffee shop, I had Luna on my lap and explained the past misunderstanding to him. "I see. I always found it odd when Christine broke up with me soon after. I had no idea you felt that way about me." I felt relieved that the misunderstanding was cleared up. "Is this your little girl?" "Yes, she's 3. She seemed to enjoy the play today. She's cute and well-behaved. How about having her join our children's theater group? Do you think she could handle it? I believe she's got the potential, being your daughter." I was skeptical, but I'd been thinking about exposing Luna to more experiences, so I decided to let her attend the theater group as an extracurricular. In no time, Luna became a key member of the group. Meanwhile, I received a marriage proposal from Matthew. I'd like to support not only our work in the theater but also our life together. I'm confident I can get along well with Luna. My parents warmly blessed our union. I happily accepted his proposal, and the three of us began our new life together. Then, once again, the phone rang. It was Christine. Hello? What do you want? I'm back in town. I had a baby. I'm expecting a gift. After twice taking away the people dear to me, she had the nerve to say that. Aren't you still a single mom, Renee? Poor thing. Michael and I are living a happy life together. Did you call just to brag? Well, obviously I want a gift. Also, I thought it'd be nice to let you see Michael. He's quite the star now. I'll let you see him once. Disgusted by her selfish talk, I was about to hang up, but Matthew seemed interested in what she was saying. I muted the call and briefly explained the situation to him. Why not? It's a celebration, let's go congratulate them. I also have something to say to Christine. Resuming the call, I told Christine we'd come to celebrate. The day we visited Christine's home arrived. I dressed up as much as possible, intricately braided Luna's hair, and ensured we looked impeccable. Matthew was supposed to come with us, but a sudden job came up, making him late. Nevertheless, we headed to Christine's house with a large group. Actually, when I told my parents we were visiting Michael's place, the word spread among the relatives who were eager to see the now famous musician. Christine, always wanting to be the center of attention, readily agreed. Having this large group with me gave me confidence since I wasn't looking forward to facing the couple alone. Christine's house was located in a modest part of our hometown. A place I knew she wasn't particularly fond of. We're here. Michael's here too. You must be happy to see him after so long. Ignoring her sarcastic remark, I walked into the room. The relatives curiously observed Christine, wondering what kind of woman Michael had ended up with. Christine didn't seem to enjoy the attention. We were guided to the living room table and served tea. The tea was lukewarm, smelled odd, and tasted terrible. Luna took a sip and grimaced, but quickly returned to her polite demeanor. It was moments like this that made me proud of her. It must be tough being a single mom. I hope you find a good husband soon. But you know, someone more on your level. My parents tried to intervene, but I stopped them. It's the same old story, I said audibly to those around. Here's the gift. I had chosen a DVD box set of a popular children's educational show. All parents raising kids in the US would recognize this educational show. It can serve as background noise and entertain the baby once they're a bit older. Thank you for the expensive gift. It must have been a stretch given your financial situation. Perhaps it was Christine's sharp tone, but the baby began to wail loudly. Quickly, Christine played the DVD. A cute theme song began, followed by costumed characters greeting the audience. The main female character was so adorable. Soon after, smaller child characters appeared. Seeing this, Christine's eyes widened in surprise. Is that Luna modeling in this show? Yes. I'm Luna, 3 years old. Our parents, beaming with pride, boasted about their talented granddaughter. Relatives, momentarily distracted from the crying baby, began showering Luna with compliments. Luna's in a children's theater group. She's one of the top members and is pretty busy with TV gigs too. But I enjoy it, so it's all good. We're so proud of how well she's grown up. On the TV, Luna is seen folding laundry and being praised by a mascot. Behind Luna, a plethora of children's toys can be seen, and glimpses of a shining kitchen sink were also visible. That's some detailed set. A TV studio? You should be living in a house this beautiful instead of acting in one. Actually, the filming location was our very own home. Our family's rented house may be old-fashioned, but thanks to our cleanliness-loving parents, it's been thoroughly renovated and looks brand new inside. That's actually our home. What? No way, you can't possibly live in a place like this. Our parents briefly explained about the renovation. We renovated the interior with funds from our parents, and it's even got all the accessibility features, so it's quite safe. Oh, it's a decent house then. Christine's baby continued to cry loudly. She made a clicking sound with her tongue, got up, stumbled over an empty snack wrapper, and reluctantly started to soothe her baby. Being a child actor isn't something just anyone can do. Luna seems to have a real talent for it. Oh, for a single mother, you're doing pretty well. But making your child work to earn a living? Sounds tough. That's a nasty way to put it. I think you owe an apology to everyone doing this kind of work. Besides, just as I was about to spill the beans, the doorbell rang. Christine, looking puzzled, went to answer the door. Seeing a familiar silhouette, I followed her, and sure enough, it was Matthew. Seeing him, Christine seemed to have lost her voice. She stood there for a moment, then whispered, "Matthew." I stood next to him, a bit embarrassed, and intertwined our arms. "This is my husband, Matthew." "It's been a while, Christine. Renee invited me, so I thought I'd drop by." Christine looked quite uncomfortable. Still, she couldn't leave him at the entrance, so she reluctantly led him to the living room. "Christine, I've heard everything from Renee. You sure did pull a number back then." "Well, I bet you only thought of Renee as a means to boost your own image. Not only that, but you couldn't stand the thought of her being happy. You're quite narrow-minded. At that time, it was just a playful thought. Toying with people's emotions on a whim is the lowest. I can't trust you as a person." "No, actually, I admired you back then. You think a last-minute excuse will work now? I must have been easy to fool." Matthew understands now. We're living happily as if nothing happened. Just then, Michael emerged from the back of the room. Seeing him after such a long time, he had gained a considerable amount of weight, looking quite mismatched with Christine. Our parents, sensing the tension, discreetly took Luna away to play. The relatives, recognizing Michael, straightened up, wondering if this was the famous musician they'd heard of. Some even brought CDs, hoping for an autograph. Matthew began to explain to Michael about Christine's past actions during their college days. Michael's face turned ashen. "So, stealing Renee's man wasn't your first time? I was a victim too. You were in for a tough time." The room buzzed with whispers. Michael took a gulp, seemingly parched, and took a sip of tea from Christine's cup. But immediately, he frowned and slammed the cup on the table. "Again with this awful tea. You can't even make proper tea. I'm your husband, and this is embarrassing." We all silently nodded in agreement. "But I only drink soda usually. I'd like some appreciation for even making tea. Always with that attitude. Acting high and mighty every time you do a tiny bit of housework." The couple's quarrel went on for a bit before Michael finally calmed down and took a seat. "I should have introduced myself earlier. I'm contracted with a production company as a musician." "I'm well aware. I work with that company." Matthew pointed to a DVD with a director's name on it. Christine was taken aback when she saw the name. "I'm currently directing children's plays. Still sticking to my original passion." "It's not fair. Why does Renee always get the good guys? Michael has gained so much weight and isn't as wealthy as when we met. There's nothing good about him now." "You thought of me like that?" "Yes, even after giving birth to our child, you never help. You wanted the kid. I thought you'd earn more once we had a child." "That's a terrible reason. Ever since we started dating, Michael has become stingy, and I can never buy the things I want." Our parents whispered amongst themselves, frowning. The relatives, who claimed to be fans of Michael, sensed the storm brewing. "Arguing in front of others is unseemly. Isn't it bad for the baby's upbringing?" Christine was taken aback for a moment but retorted, "You're just a behind-the-scenes guy. Compared to my Michael, there's a world of difference." Matthew smiled and started operating his smartphone. Seeing Matthew, usually not one to use his phone in public, our parents and I stared in curiosity. "Christine, have you seen the news? It's trending right now." Matthew showed his smartphone screen. The news headline read, "Famous musician in debt due to wife's spending." With a shocking headline, there was an article revealing that Michael's wife, Christine, was drowning in debt behind her glamorous lifestyle. Apparently, she had been continuously borrowing money from Michael's business acquaintances. Michael had completely lost his credibility, and his contract with the production company was expected to end within the year. This news left me and everyone else present utterly stunned.
What's the meaning of this? That's just fake news. You can't believe it.
This was news to me too, so I intently stared at Matthew's smartphone screen.
Isn't this true? Your social media is always bragging about luxuries. Where's that money coming from? Huh? I haven't been giving Christine that much allowance.
Just then, my mom tried to stand up, reaching for the closet's knob. However, the closet wasn't properly closed, and she stumbled back. What startled us wasn't about my mom. We were speechless seeing the huge amount of luxury brand items spilling out from the closet.
Everyone has these. It's pretty standard. But these items cost thousands of dollars each. You don't even work, there's no way you could afford them with just an allowance.
Michael let out a heavy sigh.
When I was married to Renee, things were better. Renee was good with money, never complained, and made our life comfortable. Christine is gorgeous, but she barely does housework and constantly orders food and hires help. I knew it was a drain on our finances. You never said that. I told you multiple times. But every time, you'd pretend not to hear and go out. And now, you've gone and embarrassed me to the point of making the news, tarnishing my career.
Christine pouted dramatically. Maybe she thought her sulking looked cute, but given the circumstances, it looked rather ridiculous. Indeed, a few relatives even giggled under their breaths.
I want a divorce. Renee, how about giving us another shot? You must be joking. I've got the best partner in Matthew. We were married once, I think we could make it work now. Please don't be naive. There's no way I'm getting back with someone who cheated on me during my pregnancy. But Luna is still my child. I think we could become a real family.
The ever-patient Luna finally spoke up.
Who's this man? I like my current dad. Luna feels the same. Too bad for you.
Our parents were also nodding with big smiles.
I can't believe it. Why does Renee end up being happier in the end? Maybe it's a matter of effort. I think the reason I met Matthew and Luna was because of my consistent efforts in studying sound design since college. The only thing you've bragged about is your husband, you don't have anything of your own. That's right, it's because you always relied on me. After today, I'm never seeing you again. We'll settle our divorce through lawyers. I'll also have you repay every cent you've taken. That's impossible. We have a baby. No ifs, ands, or buts.
The couple's exchange escalated into a heated argument, so we left their house, leaving behind a DVD with Luna on it. Even after closing the front door, Christine's cries and Michael's shouts could still be heard. The relatives who had come along commented on how terrible the private lives of celebrities could be and dispersed. Even after visiting their home, Christine's calls never stopped.
Hey, Renee. We're best friends, right? Can you lend me some money? After all this, you have the audacity to ask? I don't have a penny for you. Please, don't say that. Michael's demanding alimony, and all the people I borrowed money from are pressuring me. You're the only one I can turn to.
It wasn't a far-fetched story. I told our mutual friends everything that happened at Christine's home. Everyone was shocked and decided to cut ties with her. After the news broke, Christine's social media went viral, ironically achieving its highest ever views. As the saying goes, there's no stopping the rumor mill. It seemed that the relatives who witnessed Christine's lifestyle firsthand also played a part in spreading the gossip.
Being a single mother is tough. I'm juggling multiple part-time jobs just to get by. I'm living at my parents' house out of their pity, and I feel so ashamed. Isn't that your own doing? All the consequences of your past actions are catching up with you now. Don't be so cold. What about the way you treated me? Wasn't that terrible? I regret it. Please forgive me. I have no obligation to forgive you. Stop contacting me.
Ignoring Christine's tearful pleas, I ended the call and promptly blocked her number. I should have done this from the start. Despite feeling disgusted with my own gullibility, I felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. On the other hand, our family was living happily every day. Luna was handling child actress roles at her own pace and even expressed her desire to become an actress in the future. I'm always amazed by her brightness and intelligence. Matthew is very cooperative with household chores and childcare, and values his family time despite his busy work schedule. With the support of my parents, I am enjoying the journey of raising our child. We dream of creating a play together as a family of 3 someday, and we plan to continue being a close-knit family.